Hello. In today's video, I go over the top 10 best cheap fun cars in Greenville. But firstly, I will read over some rules for these cars. The rules are the car cannot be over $20,000. It's allowed to be classic car pass. But further than that, it's all the rules. So let's get straight into the cars. Also make sure to comment your favorite vehicle on this list and if you are going to buy it. First up, we have the 1996 Western Mamba Plus in its VS6 trim level with a Volkswagen-derived performance engine. It is surely a performer while it is roomy and efficient enough to be used daily. With a price tag ranging from $6,000 to $15,000, it is great for the money and it is quite agile for being a wagon. But it pays off for it in performance and its funky looks. When I tested this one, it actually quite surprised me for being zippy and having a top speed of 130 miles per hour and having quite decent acceleration as well. I would highly recommend this one if you love performance and a bigger vehicle. Also might I note, it is so fun to roleplay in, so keep that in mind. The next vehicle is quite a known one, the mighty 1990 Mazda MX-5 or Miata, which is such a fun little sporty convertible with a price of $15,000. It really pays off for its price. With the signature pop-up headlights and iconic smiley front bumper, this Mazda is quite cute and has a sporty feel to it. Although being underpowered, it surely makes up for it in driving. It has updated lighting and a not so outdated but fully modeled interior, which is quite accurate to the real Miata. The Miata being a lightweight sports car, it surely drives very good and is good in the corners, outbraking most cars, and is also decently light on gas. Although it is under the Classics Pass, if you have the pass, I would highly recommend you buy the Miata as it brings so much fun for the price and will not disappoint. Our next vehicle is quite interesting. It's the 2003 Chrysler PD Cruiser Turbo GT, being around $5,000 to $9,000. This one is a bit more of a performance trim level as it has a nice turbo that actually has its own unique wastegate let-off sound, which sounds really good. Being a bit heavy for a subcompact hatch, it can still show impressive handling and acceleration. I wouldn't fully recommend this one, but only because it's quite heavy on fuel, although it has a turbo so it makes sense. But for just a fun weekend car, the PT Cruiser is great. Next up is the Mazda 6 2011. You can pick a Mazda 6 up for $8,000 and it is surprisingly fast and will show impressive acceleration. Being an economy sedan with a funky design, it will give you very decent fuel economy and a spacious body, very good for daily driving. I very much recommend this Mazda if you want something nice but cheap at the cost of it being a bit outdated, but very sporty and super good for roleplays or just driving. Our next car is the 2008 Volkswagen Golf GTI. In its base package ranging from around $9,000 to $15,000 for some trims, it stays perfectly budget-friendly while having all that performance. Even though it is slightly slower and less powerful than its real-life variant, the Golf GTI in Greenville is no slouch, reaching 151 miles per hour at its top speed, with great acceleration as well, and being a small, compact hatchback, it is quite agile as well. The Golf is great on fuel, small enough to be practical for city driving or going shopping, has great looks in my opinion, and offers a lot for the money. So yeah, I would recommend this one as well. Next up is a pretty obvious one, the 2000 for Infiniti G37, minus it being the non-aero package, which actually makes it quite a bit cheaper. It is one of the most powerful cars on this list, coming in at a whopping 250 to 300 horsepower in its higher trim levels. This one was quite a blast to drive and it is quite tail-happy being a rear-wheel drive car with a powerful engine. Highly recommend the G37 if you want something cheap yet sporty and fast as well. Inner, I'd say good looking body and decent fuel economy. Next up is a 2005 Cadillac DTS or Devil with a quite notorious Northern Star V8 coming in from around $6,000 to $20,000 in some trims. One downside is this Cadillac is front-wheel drive and it tends to understeer a lot and is not that agile, but it is quite comfortable and luxurious being a depreciated luxury vehicle. If you want a nice, luxurious looking and driving car on a budget, then the Cadillac DTs will serve you well, coming in many different trims as well to choose from. Next up, we have a Volkswagen van with the TL package coming in at around $5,000 to $20,000 in some trims, this one being $9,000. It is a great sporty van, big enough for the whole family. With a shouty 5-cylinder engine and quite surprising performance for a minivan, it actually is a fun car to drive. If you want a big minivan with some power and style to it, then this Volkswagen will definitely be a good pick for you, being very cheap in comparison to other vans. Next up is another minivan, but with it being a bit more interesting. It's the 2006 Nissan Quest with a 350Z V6. Yes, the same but detuned engine from the 350Z and G37. With a very shouty but small exhaust setup, the Nissan Quest actually sounds good with great performance, rivaling some newer minivans. With this being around $6,000. Yet another great interesting pick. It would be great for role plays and driving daily, being a practical sporty van. Definitely go and try it out. Next up, the quirky 2014 Nissan Cube Nismo trim level. For around $17,000 and having a supercharged shouty 4-cylinder, it is a very interesting, fun car. Weird looks aside, it can actually be a great daily driver and fun weekend car. In a small compact form of a cube, of course. And it being a quad exhaust, it has a great exhaust note. If you are looking for something different and unique in a sport package, then the Nissan Cube is perfect for you. Next up is the last but not least, and also my favorite out of the bunch, the 1998 Mitsubishi Eclipse GSX, being a AWD sporty version of the late 90s Eclipse. The Eclipse has a great model, good performance, reaches 143 miles per hour at its top speed, and it is so fun to drive while looking quite good and sporty. 100% recommend the Eclipse, for it is a great fun, cheap sporty car that is good on gas and is fun to drive. Thanks again for watching yet another one of my new style videos. Hope you enjoyed it, and as always, stay safe and stay blessed.